Hey everybody, welcome back. Another video we're going to do today. This one we're going to work with a couple of different color inks. Then we're going to draw with Rohr and Klingner. I introduced this I think in my last video. We're going to be looking at Blue Mar and Smaragd Grün. So it's kind of a greeny color. And this one's more of like a turquoisey color. So we're going to work with these today. Pump in 2 different pens full of these ink each, and then we're going to draw with each one on one drawing just to kind of see how these two come together. Great colored inks, and the pens we're going to test out today. We're going to put these into the Leonardo Momento Grande Zero Dark Hawaii. That's the name of this one. We're going to do it into this one, and we're also going to, I think today we're going to use, why don't we try out the, I think it's the V126, the Asvine V126, and this is the blue swirl. So this is a vacuum filler pen, and this one is a piston filling pen. So this is an Asvine Chinese pen, and this one is an Italian brand pen. So we will go ahead and fill these up. We'll do a little drawing, and we'll go from there. The real quick, the let's see, was it the Dark Hawaii? Yeah. Well, we'll get into that when we get on the table, on the desk. Okay, so let's get started. We'll do a little bit of drawing and pump these two in here and see how they both perform. I'm going to tell you right now, both nibs are fantastic. But let's see how they do with drawing and with these inks. Okay. All right. Let's get down here. 2 pens we're going to look at today is the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande, and we're going to look at the Asvine V126. And this is a vacuum filler, V for vacuum. So let's go ahead and fill these up. Today we're going to be working with these 2 inks. So I'm thinking blue in there, and we'll do the Smaragd Grün in this one. It doesn't matter actually. So let's do that, and let's go ahead and let's do the Leonardo first. How about that? Okay, so this is a piston filler. Great piston window there, and we are going to drop it in, push down the plunger, see it bubbling, and we're going to drop a little bit of ink. I don't need to drop a whole ton, so we're just going to pull in enough to do the drawing. Otherwise it's going to take forever to use up all the ink. Okay, so I believe I have enough there for the drawing, and then we're going to break open the Smaragd Grün. Okay, and let's see here, we're going to also adjust the lighting temperature a little bit. Raise that up a little bit. There we go. Okay, better. So let's do this one. This one's a vacuum filler, so we're going to fill this one a little bit differently. Okay, so we're going to pull it out. We're going to push it into the ink, and we're going to depress the plunger. As soon as the vacuum is created, we see ink is drawn up. All right, now you can fill that up all the way to the top easily. There's a trick to that. In fact, I think I'll do a video on how to do that at some point in the future. But in the meantime, let's take in our notebook, and we are going to get a fresh page. So we're going to start this. I'm going to do this 120 gram Leuchtturm, so we can get started on this one too. And we'll go ahead and start drawing on this. And I'm going to adjust the lighting a little bit here. All right, so let's see which pen we're going to start with first. I think, why don't we start with the Leonardo? Yeah, it's got enough ink in there to do this painting, so the drawing, so we don't want to fill it all the way up. And then, like I said, it's going to take forever to use up all the ink. It's a medium nib. Just a fantastic pen. And if we look at it here, if you see it under the light here, maybe you can see the chatoyancy in some parts of the pen. Like, there's really great. It's got great colors: browns, whites, grays, blues. Just a fantastic swirls. So why don't we go ahead and get started with this one and see. This is the which one is this one? This is the Blue Mar. Okay. It's got nice shading. Can lay down a really nice oh, look at that. Yeah, I love this nib. It's not a flex nib by any stretch, but you know, when you push down on it, it does lay down a lot more ink onto the paper. And then if you write without really pushing the nib, it does the nice color, which is the Blue Mar. Yeah, Blue Mar, it's a really nice color. I like it. Looks very nice. And I think yeah, you know what? It's funny because this is a medium, but if you when I write with this compared to other, I mean, that does not look like a medium line. That looks like a fine line, right? When I reverse write, I mean, that is like super extra fine. So this one's an interesting one where I don't have, I got a medium nib, but I kid you not, this is more of a fine line. Whereas I have a couple other Leonardos, and their mediums are true mediums. So you know, quality control, I have no idea. You know, it can't be perfect every time, right? And I don't expect it to be perfect every time. It's a nice saturated ink. You know, I tend to, for drawing purposes, I tend to really stick to darker saturated inks, blacks, dark browns. You know, the diamine, a couple of diamine inks that I really like that are brown, speaking of browns, would be the Macassar and their chocolate brown. Those two inks, I have those are awesome. The Macassar is really a great ink. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. So here we're going with the Momento Zero. So let's kind of switch it up a little bit. Let's bring in the Asvine with the Smaragd Grün. Yeah, that one also has a nice saturation, and then look at that. That's really nice. The Smaragd Grün, is my absolute favorite green variation. I also, as far as another green that I do like, but not as much as this, is the Mont Blanc Irish Green. That is a poppin' green, but this is awesome green. Man, I'm gonna tell you, this Asvine nib, this one, and I have it in the other one, and then a few different recent Asvines, the ones that have this decoration on it. I think it's our latest iteration of pen. This nib, they've got it right. I mean, it is so smooth. It's so pleasant to draw with, and the way they have it ground is perfect. So whatever they finally did, I think Asvine is an amazing competitor for some of these top name brand pens. I mean, this pen alone is very good quality. The V126. And I'll tell you something else. I'll take this nib on this pen over any Pilot 823, any Pilot nib created. This is a phenomenal nib. Asvine got it right. To me, Pilot, I just don't like. I'm not a fan of Pilot nibs. I don't like the way they write. I don't like the angles they're cut at. I just don't like the grind. So I would say that if you're into getting into pens and you don't want to really spend an arm and a leg, but you're not sure, get an Asvine, man. I mean, I honestly, get a V126. Get this pen. You will not be disappointed. The nib is incredible. There's no, I had to do no adjusting. You know what? I would even say this. Outside of Aurora and, well, let's say Aurora. Maybe a Leonardo, but some Leonardos I've had to adjust. But outside of Aurora, Asvine is one of the few that I don't even have to do anything. I pull it out of the box and it writes smoothly. Somehow they're getting really good quality control over there, for the most part, in my experience. I can't speak to everybody else, but in my experience with pens, these are just fantastic. And I love that shading of this ink, by the way. It really is nice. So this, yeah, this is really great. I do enjoy this this ink. It's kind of a cool combo. I've never really just done these side by side before, but yeah, this is really nice. Man, this nib is phenomenal. I'm telling you, there are some things that you know. You know, when they had the made in China, and you think, oh, it's cheap and it's done. Yeah, I've had that experience with some items when you get them. But man, whatever they're doing at Asvine, keep it up. I think will just push some of these other manufacturers a little bit harder to, you know what, take better time doing your quality control. Look what Asvine's doing with their nib. I mean, I am literally writing with this like this, straight down at the very tip of the nib, and it is so smooth, and it is laying down. Look at that. It just lays down the ink. Man, this is, I mean, it's incredible. I really, reverse writing just lays down a really nice fine line. So I don't know what other people's experience are with Asvine. I'm sure it's not perfect across the board, but I think if you're, like I said, getting into fountain pens, and whether you're drawing or writing, it doesn't matter, and you want to really be sure that, hey, you know what, I don't want to go and spend a lot of money and be disappointed, you know, grab an Asvine. I think this would be a great one. This it's fun. Also, it's a vacuum filler. I mean, you know, you have some fun filling those. Those are enjoyable. Why not? And for the price, my goodness, you can't beat this. I mean, this is incredible. It really is. Wow, this ink is just incredible. I really do like it. I'm almost, so you know, it's funny. I love this pen. I mean, I adore this pen. I don't know if I'm going to be drawing with it the rest of the session. This is just fun to draw with, man. Gosh, this nib. Yeah. Well, when when you've been using fountain pens for a long time, and you know when you come across a bad one, and you're like, dude, seriously, how how did they even get this out of the shop? And you spend all this time fixing it, and it's still not quite perfect, and you're like, well, but it's usable. It's disappointing. It really is disappointing. So it is exceptionally rewarding and makes you feel good when you get a really great one. And to get a really great one for a lower cost pen, that's phenomenal. Yeah, I think I've got quite a selection of Asvine pens, um, the early ons, and I think I might do like a little. Maybe we'll get all the Asvine pens together and ink them up, and then just give them a rundown. That should be a good idea. In no way am I comparing these two pens, by the way. So, in terms of like, you know, they're not in the same category. You know, pretty sure that Leonardo is going to last quite a while. This one could very well outlast that one. It could last long. I don't know. It could, you know, the glue could give away and it could fall. I have no idea, right? Until I've used this pen for quite a while, I won't know. It just doesn't have the history yet that, Leonardo's been around for so long, so they have an established record of, and durability. So Asvine still has to prove itself. It's still new to the industry, but I'm telling you right now, just out of the gate though, quality-wise, just how it feels feels phenomenal. I really do hope they stick around. And I really do hope they're imitating a lot of other pen makers, right? And I guess and they do a damn good job of it. But I wonder if they could go out and just start, designing pens on their own. That would be kind of cool. So if Asvine came out with their own version of the pen and their own model, that would be awesome. That has, no resemblance to anything that's existing right now. That would be good. Or maybe they're like, you know what? This is our market. We'll just, if it ain't fixed or broke, don't fix it. Let's just kind of imitate these other models, and then we'll build them at seemingly great quality, and it could very well be amazing quality long term, and at an affordable price. There's a market for that too, as long as they're not, um, as long as they're not claiming to be that pen, right? Those would be counterfeits, and they're not. They have their own name, and they're not trying to say they are that brand. There's a whole market. I'm telling you, it's funny. One of my friends was into watches, and he, I guess, at one point was buying watches from China. And there's, I guess, quite a few people online where you can get these that they will literally make knockoffs, counterfeits. And I mean, absolutely have the name like for Panerai, or they will do Tag Heuer or Omega, and it will say Omega, and it will be an exact duplicate in terms of looks of that pen, or that watch, excuse me. Now, of course, the internals are not the duplicate of that watch. They are cheap, movements. The decorations, maybe if it's a open back, a glass back, where you can look in to see the movement. They'll decorate it to look like the actual movement of the, whoever they're knocking off, but the actual movement itself will be nothing, nearly what the cost would be of having a custom movement of, let's say, a Tag Heuer or an Omega. And you could, let's say, an Omega will run you, I don't know if they do, like, let's say, a Speedmaster or a Planet Ocean or something. You spend what, 4, 5, 6,000 plus on an Omega, and you can pick up a counterfeit for like $300-400. He did that, and I think he had an Omega, and on the face or the dial of the watch, it had Omega right on there. And he said the O fell off and it came off and it was bouncing around the face of the watch. I thought, oh man, dude, you knew you were buying that. That's, you know, you get into trouble for that, by the way. So he never bought another counterfeit again, by the way. He learned his lesson. Um, but Asvine, you know, is not trying to say they are Pilot. They come up with their brand, they imitate it, they do their own little twist on it, a little variation, but essentially you can see it's an homage or what have you. But certainly they're charging their price for it, and so that's legit. I don't have a problem with that. So yeah, the Blue Mars. I mean, both of these really complement each other. I mean, I think these are two complementary colors to begin with. Man, this Leonardo is really laying out a fine line for a medium. It's crazy. It's nice, actually. I love the shading of this ink. I'm going to start using another. I've got a couple other sheening inks that I'm going to break out soon again, or break out again. I love Diamine Ruby Blues. It's a nice deep navy blue with a red sheen. Tesla Coil by Birmingham Inks. That also is very red sheen with a navy blue. And then also, KWZ does Sheen Machine. And Sheen Machine is very much like the Ruby Blues or Tesla Coil. It's a deep navy with a red sheen. I got to get that Quizzy ink. I haven't had the KWZ inks out in a while. I've got a few of those. That Sheen Machine one is awesome. Oh, a couple other ones that I did get that I guess I can't find them anymore, but I got them when they came out. I had a feeling they might not last, but they were amazing. And this was a while back, but I got Diamine Bloody Brexit. Bloody Brexit, same thing. It's a very deep navy with a really neat red sheen. Bloody Brexit has to be one of my favorites. And then Skull and Roses was Diamine's other one, Skull and Roses. And I don't think they make those anymore. Same thing, just a different variation, but also a nice navy with a red sheen. I just like that combo. The navy and the red sheens are great. We'll break those out and start doing those. I do love my black inks, and especially for drawing, they're great. But every once in a while, you want to get a little color in there, and those sheening inks are great. I was watching a couple of people doing their Inkvent calendars this year for Advent, and Diamine had theirs. And when I saw that Diamine calendar was black this year, I was like, nah, I don't think so. Just had a bad feeling, and I was right. It just is, they're pale inks, they're unsaturated inks. They're just, there's a lot to be desired there. Not a big fan. I didn't like Inkvent this year. Colorverse had some great, the Colorverse ink calendar, or Colorvent they call it. That had some really cool inks. I thought those were neat, but again, I have a problem usually with just getting a bunch of inks because I mean, I have a ton of inks, but I don't use the variations frequently. I have them to have them. Some of these are collector items, the ones I keep, but I don't use them as frequently as I do black. So it's like, if I like one, I'll get it, but I have so much ink, I have no need to be in the market right now for any inks, or in the near future. I do love this Blue Mar, I'm telling you. problem with using, let's say, an ink like this that isn't as saturated as a black, let's say, when you try to shade in and you know, drop a lot of ink, it tends to just pull up paper, and it doesn't fill evenly, whereas black will. So it's kind of a pain when you use a color, because you try to do that, and then it just, because it's a shading ink, it shades in differently. It's just terrible. It's terrible for working on paper like this. Tumbleway River is not bad, you know, or when you use a nice high quality paper like that. Then when you do the shading, it's not too bad. But I don't know, Leuchtturm or any kind of paper that's a little less thick or able to handle a lot of ink, it tends to either just take the paper up, or it just looks really sloppy and messy. So yeah, not bad. This is a good ink. If you guys are ever interested in this color, I would definitely recommend Rohr and Klingner. Rohr and Klingner has a lot of different inks. It's a German company. So these come in these bottles. It has a nice wide mouth, so it's easy to put your pen into. So that's great. But yeah, so if you're interested in these kind of inks, we're going to try out some different colors as well moving forward, and I think that's a good idea. We'll always keep using black, but got some other blacks I want to try out too. You know, another one, there are a couple other gray inks too that have come out that are darker. I think I might want to try those too. I'm usually not a fan of like ashy gray or something so light that just, what's the purpose of writing or drawing with it? But some of these, they're really nice, so I'm gonna give them a shot and see. We'll bring some gray inks in. Yeah, it just kind of pools at the top of the paper and then soaks in. Yeah, I think when the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande came out, the original one had more of a concave section, and it did not have an ink window. And people got that, and they were very frustrated. Like, it's a near perfect pen. There's no ink window. I can't see how much ink is in it. And I agree. Like, why would you make a piston filler that does that? So this is version 2.0. They came out with Leonardo Momento Zero Grande 2.0, and this is the upgrade. They actually evened out the section, didn't make it as concave, and then also dropped in their ink window. So this is perfect. I really enjoy this pen. It's great size. Again, posts very nicely. For those fellow posters out there, I think it's mental that people don't post their pens when they wear like. I don't understand it. Probably as much as they don't understand why people do poster pens, I guess. Same thing with this one. Again, just satisfying. Here, you know, where's the cap? It's on the pen. I don't need to worry about that I lost it or I put it somewhere. It's on the pen. And especially when it actually balances the pen out well, it's just, they've thought about it, right? Like the pen designer thought about it. Say, hey, you know what? When you put the cap on and you post it, it should balance the pen out and feel like it belongs there. I like that. So if you've made it this far and drawing videos like this appeal to you, and you do like seeing new pens and inks and listen to me jabber on about stuff, hey, I appreciate if you drop a like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out when new uploads are uploaded. Like I said, right now looking at Thursdays and potentially maybe another one during the week. As the channel grows, we'll start eventually doing lives and and things like that. So if you guys like the channel a lot and we get a lot of subscribers and it goes pretty quickly, then we can go ahead and start doing those. Because I'd love to have some direct feedback from a lot of new people. I have a lot of people that I communicate with about fountain pens and things like that in our hobby, and it's fun. But it's always cool to get an outside opinion or somebody who you don't know, and they can give you some insight into something you hadn't thought about, or turn you on to something. Or it's always fun, man. It's always fun when you talk to people who enjoy what you enjoy too. I think that brings people together, right? You can have completely different opinions and ideas about things, but if you enjoy something, there's a connection, and to me, that's always cool. Now, I gotta say this one, so when I shade in with this Smaragd Grün, I don't know if it's just the nib or the ink, but this shades a lot better than the Blue Mar, I will say. I like the shading on this. It just looks, man, the Smaragd Grün, dude, this color alone, there's something about this Smaragd Grün that just, there's no other green like it. It's unreal. Or maybe there is, but this is awesome. I don't know how to describe it, but I love this green. Man, this nib is so smooth. Yeah, so it's easier to shade in with the Smaragd Grün at least. Maybe just this nib too. Maybe because the nib is so smooth that it's keeping the ink from soaking the paper too much right away. Oh, don't know what happened there. There we go. Apparently the battery was giving out on the light, so I had to switch out batteries there. We'll finish here real quick. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and finish this, and we'll speed it up a little bit. But yeah, if you use Smaragd Grün or have something very similar to this, or have a green that's similar to this, let me know if you do, because I would like to know. So I'm not just reliant, just in case for some reason Roaring Cleaner says, you know what, we're done, we're not making this ink anymore, I'll be pretty upset, because it's a great ink. Blue Mar is nice, I like it, but yeah, I mean, it also has the same quality as that when it shades in. Let's say like Monteverdi turquoise, or Erosuzuku has a turquoise. It doesn't do that. Whatever they're doing chemically to this ink, I don't see a whole lot of other turquoises or greens variation of this doing the same thing. So anyways, pretty cool. Yeah, somebody said something, there's some oh man, there's a Dutch company that makes inks too, and they have really funky bottles, like weird bottles. I can't think of the name. I think they have a green, but it's not like this. It's a green, it has a very similar name, but it's not like this. Man, now it's really bothering me. I wish I remember the name of that. It has like a little ball in it, like it's like a figure eight shaped bottle. And anyway, I'll think of it later. But yeah, I think that it's the name of an ink, but it's not like this. But it has a similar name. God, bothers me when I'm thinking of something I can't, doesn't come to my tip of my tongue. So I'm going to fast speed this video up. We'll finish this out. But I thought this gives a really good hint as to these two different colors of inks. Yeah. There we go. Man, that really does lay a consistent line, I'm telling you. Look at that. Very cool. So I'm going to finish this up. We'll just speed roll it. And we'll go from there. If you like the video, again, drop a like and subscribe, and that will help us out. And like I said, if we start growing the channel quickly, then I can start doing some lives, and that would be a lot of fun. I have actually some good ideas for things that can be done that way as well. Okay, appreciate you watching so far. We'll go ahead and finish this out. This is the Asvine V126 Blue Swirl and the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande in dark Hawaii finish. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. Talk soon. Bye.